In 2022, a year that now feels like a lifetime ago in the fast-paced world of professional sports, she said her goodbyes. It was a farewell tour that felt both like a celebration and a collective holding of breath. After an astonishing career that included 23 Grand Slam singles titles, a feat that places her in a league of her own in the Open era, for Olympic gold medals that shimmered with the weight of national pride and personal triumph, and a legacy so grand, so monumental, that it reshaped the very foundations of the sport, she walked away. Serena Williams, a name that had become synonymous with power, with resilience, with a relentless will to win, had seemingly played her final match. The tennis world, and indeed the entire sporting universe, exhaled in a mix of gratitude and sorrow. A chapter had closed, an era had ended. But now, in the late summer of 2025, the history that we thought was written, bound, and placed on a shelf might just be starting all over again. A new chapter, unwritten, unexpected, and utterly thrilling, might be about to begin. And this earth-shaking possibility, this tremor of excitement that has sent shockwaves through the hearts of millions, all started with a single, tantalizingly brief video clip, a simple yet profoundly meaningful caption, and two powerful, electrifying words that have since been whispered, shouted, and debated in every corner of the globe. Still Serena. In the blink of an eye, with the speed of one of her own blistering serves, the world of tennis, a world that had been slowly adjusting to a landscape without its brightest star, suddenly exploded with a renewed and fervent excitement. The question on everyone's lips, the thought that has dominated every sports talk show, every podcast, every online forum, is a simple one, yet it carries the weight of 1,000 what-ifs. Is Serena Williams, the queen of the court, the greatest of all time, actually making a comeback? Just 3 days before her older sister, the equally legendary Venus Williams, set the tennis world on fire with her own dramatic and inspiring return to the sport at the Washington Open, Serena, in her characteristically understated yet impactful way, dropped a bombshell. It wasn't a press conference with flashing cameras. It wasn't a carefully worded statement released by her agent. It was something far more modern, far more personal, and far more powerful in its simplicity. An Instagram reel. In the short video, set against the familiar backdrop of a sun-drenched tennis court, was Serena herself. And she wasn't just hitting a few balls for fun. These were her signature strokes, the ones that have haunted the dreams of her opponents. For over 2 decades, they were clean, they were crisp, and they were imbued with a power that seemed to ripple through the screen. Her movement was not that of a retired athlete enjoying a gentle hobby. It was sharp, it was fluid, and it was fast. The soundtrack playing behind her was not some generic pop song, but the iconic, defiant beat of Dr. Dre's Still D.R.E. song about enduring legacy and unshakable identity. And then came the caption, the 2 words that lit the match and started the fire. Still, Serena. It was posted abruptly, without any further explanation, without any context to guide the millions of people who saw it, but that lack of context was precisely what made it so powerful. It made the fans, who had been mourning the end of her career, suddenly hold their breath in a collective gasp of hope and disbelief. Could this be the moment they had all been secretly, desperately longing for? This wasn't just a video that sparked nostalgia for the good old days. This was Serena in top form, in perfect rhythm, in complete command of her body and her game. This was the point where the whispers started, where the headlines began to form, where the world started to wonder if the impossible was about to happen. Then, as if it were all part of a perfectly orchestrated play, Venus Williams, the trailblazing older sister, the one who had walked the path of greatness alongside Serena for so long, stepped onto a WTA court in Washington, D.C. after a long and challenging 16 months away from professional tennis. and what she did on that court was nothing short of unthinkable. At the age of 45, an age when most tennis players have long since hung up their rackets and moved on to the next phase of their lives, she faced off against Peyton Stearns, the world number 35, a talented young player who was just 4 years old when Venus won her 4th Grand Slam title. The age difference was a stark reminder of Venus's incredible longevity. But on that day, it was nothing more than a number. The domination was absolute. It was complete, and it was breathtaking to watch. Venus won in straight sets, 6-3, 6-4. With a performance that was a masterclass in skill, strategy, and sheer willpower. It was more than just a win. It was a statement. It wasn't just a victory. It was a deepening of her already profound legacy. With this incredible win, Venus became the second oldest woman ever to win a singles match on the WTA Tour. A record that places her in the company of the legendary Martina Navratilova, who holds the top spot at 47, and she achieved this remarkable feat without having played a single competitive singles match since August of 2023. She had entered the tournament as a wild card, an underdog in the eyes of many, and yet she had dominated. Her serves were a thing of beauty, a weapon that still fired with incredible speed and precision, clocking in at 112 miles per hour. Her movement on the court was not that of a 45-year-old. It was sharp, it was elegant, and it was a testament to her incredible athleticism and dedication. After the match, her much younger opponent, Peyton Stearns, could only shake her head in admiration. "She played some ball tonight," Stearns admitted. "She was moving really well. Her serves were just on fire." But when a reporter asked Venus if her motivation to return to professional tennis was to silence the doubters, to prove them all wrong, she didn't flinch. With the quiet confidence that has defined her entire career, she gave a classic Venus Williams response, a response that was unapologetic, mighty, and beautifully free. "No," she said simply, "because I'm not here for anyone else except for me. I have nothing to prove. Zip. Zero." She later returned to the court for a doubles match, teaming up with the young and talented Haley Baptiste, and together they secured an easy win against Eugenie Bouchard and Clara Towson, although she had never officially announced her retirement. The WTA had listed Venus as inactive, and many in the tennis world had dismissed her as done, a legend whose time had passed. Boy, were they wrong. She is so back, and she is rewriting her own narrative, proving that age is just a number and that the love of the game can be a powerful and enduring force. Venus's triumphant return has the potential to be more than just an inspiration. It could be a prophecy, a sign of things to come. And now, all eyes, all hopes, all attention are focused squarely on Serena, while her older sister was busy collecting wins on the court. Serena was on social media, showing off a physique that was lean, fast, and incredibly sharp. In fact, her form in that now famous Instagram reel looks like something we haven't seen in years. A throwback to her most dominant era. Her training video reveals a body that is worthy of a world number one. A body that has clearly been sculpted by hours of intense and dedicated work. And as if that wasn't enough to fuel the fire of speculation, Venus herself added more fuel in a post-match interview, her words carrying the weight of both sisterly love and deep respect. "She can take 6 months off, and she clocks it clean," Venus said, a knowing smile on her face. "She's just so good. The only thing that would make this better is if she was here." Everyone who has followed Serena's incredible career has been wondering if her 2022 retirement announcement was truly the final word. It felt hasty, it felt half-spirited, and it never really seemed to close the door on a possible return. It was a goodbye, but it wasn't a definitive farewell. So, now that Venus is back, now that she has shown the world what is possible, could the dream of a Williams sisters reunion actually happen? Could we see them on the court together one last time? To be perfectly honest, the odds are not great. Logic and reason would suggest that a comeback at this stage is a long shot. And even if the odds were in her favor, there are many significant obstacles standing in her way. But then again, odds and obstacles have never been the kind of things that have stopped a Williams sister. In fact, they have often been the very things that have fueled their greatness. Admittedly, Serena is now 43 years old. She hasn't played in a professional high-stakes match since the 2022 US Open, a tournament that felt like a coronation of her career. And today, the WTA roster is just as strong, if not stronger, than it was back then. There is a new generation of stars, a hungry and talented group of players like Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Arnes Sabalenka, and Emma Navarro, all of them eager to carve out their own piece of the tennis pie. All of them are in their prime form, in peak physical condition, and they are not likely to be intimidated by a legend returning to the court. But hey, this is Serena Williams we are talking about. The normal rules, the conventional wisdom, they just don't seem to apply to her. In 2018, she reached 2 Grand Slam finals, an incredible achievement for any player, but made all the more remarkable by the fact that in that same year, she had given birth to her first daughter, Olympia, a journey that had been fraught with life-threatening complications. At the age of 39, an age when many of her contemporaries had long since retired, she was still ranked among the top 10 women in professional tennis, a testament to her enduring skill and incredible work ethic. And in her last US Open run, in what was supposed to be her farewell tournament, she took down the world number 2, Anett Kontaveit, in front of a gasping, adoring crowd at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Beating the odds is not what Serena Williams does. What Serena Williams does is redefine them. She makes the impossible seem possible. And if Serena does decide to return, she chooses to once again grace the world with her presence on a tennis court, it will likely happen in one of the following ways. The most likely option, the one that makes the most logical sense, is for her to focus on doubles only, and to reunite with her sister Venus for a wild card entry into a tournament, most likely the US Open. This path is less physically stressful on the body, which at 43 is a significant consideration. But it would make things just as exciting, just as meaningful. After all, the sight of the Williams sisters on a court together again, a team that has won 14 Grand Slam doubles titles, would be enough to rock fans across the globe and create a media frenzy of epic proportions. Then we have the singles-only path, a more challenging but potentially more rewarding option. Serena would likely enter a tournament as a wild card, which means she would face top-ranked talent early on. It's a risky path, one that would test her physical and mental limits. From the very first match, there is a huge prize at the end of that path. She is just a single Grand Slam title away from tying Margaret Court's all-time world record of 24 single slams, a record that has stood for decades and is considered by many to be the ultimate mark of greatness in tennis. Additionally, the US Open, the likely stage for any comeback, is basically her backyard. She has won it 6 times, and the energy of the New York crowd has always fueled her best performances. Finally, she could defy all odds, all logic, all expectations, and enter both the singles and doubles draws. It would be the boldest of last runs, a final, audacious statement of her greatness. And if she were to find success, if she were to be lucky, it could be her most memorable performance of all. A run that would not only redefine the sport, but would also redefine her own already monumental legacy. But the truth here, the real, honest truth, echoes what Venus already said. Serena doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. She doesn't need to return to the court. Not for the records, not for her reputation, not for the money. She is already the definition of a tennis Hall of Famer. Her place in history is secure. The only reason for her to return, The only motivation that could possibly drive her to put her body through the grueling demands of professional tennis again is because she loves the game. Because she wants to finish her incredible story on her own terms, not on the terms dictated by age or by injury or by the expectations of others. So yes, Serena's potential return isn't just a physical question, it's a deeply personal one. In a refreshingly honest and open interview for People magazine, she opened up about her personal journey. A journey that has been filled with challenges that most people are not aware of. Not everyone knows this, but Serena has suffered from a range of serious health issues. From a near-death pulmonary embolism after childbirth to a recent and painful bronchial cyst. She revealed that she was often dismissed by doctors, that her concerns were not taken seriously. Despite knowing in her gut that something bad was going on after giving birth, she had to fight to be believed. "I knew something was wrong," she said, "but I had to fight to be believed." Not everyone gets that chance. Her advice to other women is simple but powerful. Listen to your body, trust it, and speak up. She has taken her advocacy a step further and has become a women's health advisor for the company Ritual. And she is using her powerful platform to speak up for disadvantaged women, especially Black women, and to demand a better, more equitable healthcare system. "I want to debunk the myth that women should feel tired or uncomfortable and just push through," she has said. "We deserve better." Just like she teaches her own daughters, Olympia and Adira. She is now advising women all over the world. Don't focus on how your body looks, but on how your body feels. Health isn't one size fits all. We're not alone. If Serena does come back to the tennis court, it won't be just about hitting a fuzzy yellow ball. It will be about sending a powerful, resonant message. A message about owning your body, about owning your story, and about owning your own power and agency. So yeah, for the Williams duo, for Venus and Serena, it was never just about the trophies and the titles, as numerous and as shiny as they are. It was always about something bigger. It was about revolution. Back in 2007, it was Venus who advocated for equal pay at Wimbledon, a fight she ultimately won, changing the landscape of the sport forever. Serena has mirrored this sentiment throughout her career, constantly pushing for fairness and equality. In sports around the globe, you just can't expect things to change overnight, Serena has said, but women do deserve equal pay. They deserve the same. And Venus famously and powerfully addressed the Wimbledon officials and asked a simple, yet profound question. Would you want your daughter or your mother to be paid less? Their reputation, their influence, it extends far beyond the tramlines of a tennis court. They speak up in places where others are quiet, and they act when others hesitate. Which is all the more reason why we, the fans, the admirers, the ones who have been inspired by them for so long, want to see them shine on the court again. So is Serena making a grand re-entry into the world of professional tennis? We don't know for sure, but the signs, the clues, they are all there. The training video that shows her in peak physical condition, the silence from her camp, the fact that she has never outright denied the rumors, allowing them to grow and fester and build into a crescendo of hope. The triumphant comeback of her sister, a comeback that has shown the world what is possible. And of course, the caption, the two simple words that have mesmerized the world and sparked a global conversation. Still Serena. If she does return, she will provide the fans with more than just another exciting match to watch. She will ignite a new trend, a new movement. She will add the final, thrilling page to her already incredible story. A story that is not just about a comeback, but about ownership. Ownership of her legacy, ownership of her joy, and ownership of the deep and abiding love for the game that started it all. So, could we see her on the court again? Some legends, it seems, don't do retirement. They just do preparation. preparation. For another dive, another challenge, another rise to the top. After all, it is still Serena. Do you think she'll return? Do you think she's ready for one last, glorious ride at the US Open? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let's all hope for the best. Whether Serena Williams ever returns to a professional tennis court or not, her influence, her power, and her legacy will continue to echo far beyond the baseline. The speculation, the excitement, the buzz that has been generated by that single training video, by that simple message, "Still Serena," wasn't just a playful tease to get the fans talking. It felt intentional. It felt like a reminder to the world that greatness doesn't just vanish into thin air. It evolves, it transforms, and it endures. If she does decide to step back into the competitive arena, it won't be just about rackets and rankings, about forehands and backhands. It would be about finishing her incredible journey on her own terms. Not because she has to, not out of necessity, but out of a pure and simple choice. It would be a final chapter written by the same powerful and determined force that rewrote the history books for 2 incredible decades. And if she chooses not to return, if she decides that her time on the court is truly done, that is a statement that is just as powerful, just as meaningful. Because Serena Williams has already transcended the game of tennis. She has set new standards in sport, in motherhood, in advocacy, and in what it means to be a powerful and unapologetic woman in the modern world. Her legacy is already etched, permanently and beautifully, into the fabric of both tennis and our wider culture. Still, even with all of that said, there is something undeniably magical, something thrilling about the idea of one last roar in the heart of Arthur Ashe Stadium. One more match under the bright lights of New York City. One more moment of Serena commanding the spotlight, not for the records, not for the money, but for the pure, unadulterated love of the game. So, will it happen? We don't know. But the spark is there. It's undeniable. The door, it seems, is still open. And the entire world is watching, waiting, and hoping. Let us know what you think. Is this the beginning of another unforgettable chapter in the incredible story of Serena Williams?